The ATF has dramatically increased their number of knock-and-talks under the Biden administration. They're also now in the business of no-knock raids, like the time they raided an innocent old lady's hotel room, dragged her out half naked, and never told her what exactly she was suspected of doing. Now, to add to their resume, they raided a part-time FFL at his home, confiscated his guns, and, like a TV bully, told him to warn all of his friends because they are shutting down the gun shows. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before I get into the details on this latest attack on freedom, this video is brought to you today by Blackout Coffee Company. You know them, you love them, they love good coffee, and they love the Second Amendment. To support your favorite gun rights groups, veterans, and the channel, go to blackoutcoffee.com/libertydoll. 52-year-old Russell Fincher is a high school history teacher, a Baptist minister, a Little League coach, and a part-time FFL. He doesn't have a brick-and-mortar shop in his small town of about 150 and mostly sells his wares at gun shows. He says that in his 3 years as an FFL, people have rarely actually come to his house. But in April, he got a call from the ATF saying they wanted to do a home inspection. He told them it wasn't a problem and for them to come anytime. A couple days later, 2 inspectors came to the home, went through his things, and spent 3 hours taking photos of all of his 4473s with their phones, which he has since learned is all kinds of illegal. They told him he had some guns with traces on them, which they found concerning, but otherwise gave him a passing grade. But then they came back 2 weeks later saying they had some concerns over his penmanship. They said they couldn't read his handwriting on a couple of forms, so they needed to come over personally to clear it up. They also found a small clerical error on one form that he was working on fixing. Another few weeks go by, and then on June 16th, the ATF called him. He and his son were packing up to go to work at a gun show, and they said they needed to speak to him before he left. They offered to come to him, and he told them it was absolutely fine. But instead of an inspector or 2 showing up, like previously, an entire 7-vehicle SWAT team of dozens of ATF agents charged onto the property, fully armed and guns blazing like it was Waco. They jumped out and handcuffed him on his deck in front of his 13-year-old son and yelled at him on his porch for an hour, demanding to know what he was doing and threatening him. And when the agents cleared the house, they called in the agent in charge, telling him it was safe for him to come in, as if it was a big danger zone when he had invited them to his house. Once Special Agent Theodore Mongol got on the scene, he told Fincher, "You're done. We have to shut you down." Then he gave the ominous threat, just like badly written TV, saying, "You tell all your FFL buddies we're coming for them. We are shutting the gun shows down." I mean, I say it like a caricature, but it's a pretty dark threat. Fincher says that the agents told him they hate home FFLs and that only gangbangers bought Glocks or AR lowers, meaning they were accusing him of selling guns without the proper paperwork to gang members at gun shows. They also told him he was making too much money, whatever that means, and accused him of using his FFL to sell guns privately and subvert the system. He showed them receipts from the last gun show he worked, where he only sold $75 of ammo but spent $1,200 on hotels, travel, and food, and again, they just accused him of selling things without paperwork. They have no evidence of this, but that doesn't mean much when you're the ATF. The attacks continued until finally he told them to just take his FFL to be done with it. He said then one of the agents pulled out a paper, had him sign it, as well as 2 other copies he had brought in case they couldn't read his writing again, which means that was exactly what they wanted and had come prepared. They immediately confiscated his entire stock of firearms as well as 50 guns from his own personal collection, which those alone he estimates as worth $50,000 to $60,000. The ATF told him they were being confiscated as evidence. Evidence of what? They didn't say. And funny thing is, for someone that they were accusing of criminal behavior, they didn't take everything. He was ordered to load everything they didn't take into his own truck to bring to another FFL on his own. When he asked Mongol about his own personal guns that had been taken, the ATF turned to extortion, as they typically do, and told him that if he forfeited his personal guns, they could make this all go away. Whatever this is, as we still don't know what he did wrong, except have messy handwriting and writing a model number where a serial number was supposed to be. Which again, he was attempting to correct. Mongol and the ATF as a whole have refused to comment on this incident. They have refused to explain why they sent a SWAT team after a man who had invited the ATF into his home just minutes before and had complied with them every step of the way. And they still haven't told him if he's being charged with a crime. A felony charge would mean the end of his teaching career and probably the end of Little League. It would absolutely destroy his life. So again, we have 50 confiscated personal firearms that they said that they needed as evidence, but they can't tell him if any crime was actually committed or if he's ever going to be charged. He just has to sit and wait. As he said, he's not Hunter Biden, and if he does get charged with something, he's not going to get the charges dropped. But so far, all we know that he's guilty of is bad handwriting. As for Agent Mongrel's message, we have to take it at face value and believe that Fincher was just the first gun show dealer and that they are, in fact, coming for the gun shows. The way things have been going under this administration, I would not be surprised. That is it for this video, gang. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Drop a comment down below. Ring the notification bell if you want to see more of my videos, because otherwise YouTube will never give them to you. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and happy shooting.